Good evening. Abraham Lincoln here. You will not hear this spoken plainly in the usual theaters of talk. I shall read to you this article. It is called Nobel Institute Torpedoes Loser Trump's Desperate Plot for His Own Prize, written by Tom Latcham. President Donald Trump's dream of being handed the Nobel Peace Prize has been killed within hours of him saying what an honor it would be. I pause at the threshold. History teaches us that honor is like a shadow. It flees from those who chase it and follows those who walk towards the light. To dream of the prize rather than the peace it signifies it is a reversal of the natural order. A man does not ask for the laurel wreath. He accepts it only when his burden is laid down. Let us continue. Trump, 79, is due to host Nobel laureate Maria Corina Machado in the Oval Office next week, amid a public and behind-the-scenes lobbying campaign to have her prize handed to Trump, both to appease the president and to encourage him to endorse her as a replacement for deposed Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. I confess, I had to read that twice. Consider the transaction proposed here. We are speaking of the governance of a nation, Venezuela, recently convulsed by the removal of its leader, and the currency being traded for legitimacy is not policy, nor the will of the people, but a medal, a golden trinket. It suggests the presidency is less a stewardship and more a marketplace for vanity. I return to the text. Speaking about that possibility in an interview with Sean Hannity on Thursday, Trump lit up, saying, "I've heard that she wants to do that. That would be a great honor." Trump went into his now familiar riff about his peace credentials, boasting, "I've stopped 8 wars," and calling it a very big embarrassment that he hadn't been given the prize. He argued that when you put out 8 wars, in theory you should get 1 for each war. 1 for each war? I have seen war. I have felt its terrible weight. It is not a game of arithmetic where one collects tokens for stopping the bleeding. To speak of 8 wars as if they were items on a ledger to be cashed in, it betrays a profound misunderstanding of what war actually costs the common soldier. It is not an embarrassment to lack a medal. It is an embarrassment to demand 8 of them. Now we proceed. Within hours, however, Trump's hopes were dashed by the Norwegian Nobel Institute, which said its rules do not permit the passing on of its coveted prize to someone else. A spokesperson told the Daily Beast on Friday, "A Nobel Prize can neither be revoked nor transferred to others. Once the announcement of the laureates has been made, the decision stands for all time. As for the prize money, the laureates are free to dispose of it as they see fit. There is a quiet dignity in that refusal. The decision stands for all time. Institutions, whether they be courts or committees, must have rules that withstand the gale force of a powerful man's ego. If rules bend merely because a president wishes it, we no longer have law, we have caprice." Mark the next passage. The organization's refusal to bend its own rules will be a disappointment not just to Trump, but also to some of his loyalists who are reported to have lobbied for Machado to hand the president the prize he so covets. Fox News presenter Rachel Campos Duffy, the wife of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, both 54, is reported to have been working both publicly and privately to get Machado to offer the prize to Trump when they meet next week, according to political journalist Rachel Bade's Substack. Campos Duffy is said to have worked hard to get Machado the Oval Office, where she would give Trump her Nobel Peace Prize, Bade writes, saying the push has come from Trump world insiders who know the president is fixated on the award. Let me be plain. If you value plain speaking, subscribe, but I have not finished. This touches real households. That is why I persist. When the inner circle of a government spends its labor not on the infrastructure of the nation, remember, this is the wife of the transportation secretary, but on securing a trophy to soothe the president's fixation, who is minding the public trust? It suggests a court where the primary duty is not service to the people, but maintenance of the king's mood. Observe what follows. The Venezuelan opposition leader, who had spent months in hiding before the U.S.-led operation that removed Maduro on Jan 3rd, plans to press Trump on both the future of her country and her own role in leading it.
This factionalism and misfirings have an immediate cruel impact. It ensnares those who seek our help, escapists from the tyranny of Venezuela. And this disunion makes a woman who might be called president pause at the door of the White House and consider if she brought the right gift. Trump has said of that prospect, "I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect." Trump has instead tacitly backed interim acting leader Delcy Rodriguez. But in public as well as in private, Campos Duffy has tried to flip that script, according to Bade, and has argued on air that Rodriguez is the wrong person in charge, alleging that she was behind executions of dissenters and had acted as torturer-in-chief. By contrast, Campos Duffy has described Machado as pro-American, said she respects President Trump, and stressed that she will work with the president on economic issues, on the oil, and on rooting out the corruption. Do you hear the confusion? One faction says torturer, the president says respect. But notice the criterion for Machado. Not that she serves her people well, but that she respects President Trump. When personal fealty becomes the sole measure of a foreign ally, we align ourselves with flatterers rather than statesmen. I return to the text. The Daily Beast has contacted Campos Duffy via Fox News and the White House for comment. We reach the end. This is not merely about a medal. It is about a hunger that cannot be sated. A man who holds the highest office on earth, yet feels small without a ribbon from Norway, is a man who does not understand the power he already wields. The presidency is the honor. The service is the reward. If that is not enough, no prize in Christendom will fill the vessel. I am Abraham Lincoln. If you would see these matters weighed carefully, subscribe. We shall speak again.